Hi, I'm Oetker Protestant Christian Missionary, Reynosa, Mexico. This is August 2011. Shame, United States, Reynosa, rebellion, prison, and religion. Why does man say no to God and yes to a religion? Man says no to God by not obeying God's Bible truths given through the New Testament writings of the Protestant Christian Bible. Man will say yes to a religious group or denomination and will join them by the thousands, even though the group's beliefs are absolutely contrary to the writings of Christ, the apostle and evangelist within the Protestant Christian Bible New Testament. Why? Because man tries to cover his sins and its evil desires. These evil desires are in control of his spiritual as well as his physical life. Sin and death are the results of all of mankind's first parents, Adam and Eve, and their disobedience to God, which resulted in the first sin, the first original sin. And the consequences of that sin was physical and spiritual death to mankind. Man's stubborn refusal to let God be their God is well documented. In the beginning of mankind, the first created man by God was named Adam. Adam lived in a state of being that was tranquil and at peace with God. The very same God that had breathed life into his creation, Adam. Adam had no objections to anything when living in his former sinless state in the Garden of Eden, created by God for him. The exception can be made in that God realized that his created being was lonely, and thus Adam's rib was removed by God, and through it Eve was created for Adam, as told in the first chapters of the book of Genesis within the Protestant Christian Bible Old Testament. In man's innocence, he was told not to do one thing by God. Man chose to disobey. What was to happen thereafter wasn't known unto him. Even so, immediate was man's transformation from one of innocence to one of sin, and its evil continual desires, now pervading within man's consciousness. I would like to explain a point on offering things to God before continuing. This offering had to do with Jesus, why Jesus offered his life to God the Father, offering himself in order to remove and to cleanse the sin of Adam and Eve, called original sin, from mankind that stood now between man and God. Additionally, the need to realize also that the Bible never states if Adam and Eve returned and asked God for forgiveness. The facts then that we do have are that Adam and Eve's three sons, Cain, Abel, and Seth, are recorded in the Protestant Christian Bible Old Testament, book of Genesis, and the many daughters of Adam and Eve aren't listed, as was the ancient customs of listing only the sons. Adam did, however, explain for the next 930 years of his life of how to appease and make offerings to God. The offerings to God were to be the best of what one was to offer in honoring and thanking God. That which was offered to God was given from the heart of the offering person, and therefore that offering became holy unto God, or set apart for God. For God received it unto himself. God, at divers times and places, has demonstrated his pleasure of that which was offered to him by various ways, to include even the sending of fire and consuming that which was offered. These different individual offerings, from the grandest to the least, were also presented to the Lord in Adam and Eve's generation and thereafter. The offering is the basic understanding of how to please and thank God, and of his acceptance of that which was offered. This is the type that in the future became the very foundation of the Mosaic law.